Well, my friend Richard has managed to very courteous, managed to make me a few parts on his 3D printer, his little one. Now, these small inside bobbins actually go. Let's look at the plan. Sorry, it's getting a bit messy on here, but these smaller ones actually go on the inside, like if we get them lined up properly. Basically, go on the inside of the actuator, which I haven't got yet. So I haven't got an actual actuator yet. Now, if you look, you'll see that there's plenty of room. The inside ones do line up, because I'm lining up with the where the laminations will come up underneath, and so the inside ones are pretty good. He's actually done me 8 of these, so there's another 4 there. So I've got actuation coils for the inside, but the larger ones, I actually had some of these made previously by the 3D printer guy locally. Now the larger ones go on the outside. Now they're a bit longer. Now the longer ones actually, because it's on the outside perimeter of the actuator, there's more room. So I can get more of these longer ones on the outside, but I couldn't get long ones on the inside. That's why I had to have them, make them smaller, you see, because they would collide with each other. So I've knocked that one. So you get the idea. Now, also a friend has made me some inside core magnet holders. They actually didn't come out too bad, but unfortunately you couldn't do them in ABS, which is sad, and they're horrible. Well, let's have a look. They haven't come out very well at all. The strands are not welded together properly. They've not come out very well, but the centre part that holds the magnets is solid, it appears to be. So that's a good thing. So I'm not criticising him. I mean, he's done a good job, because it's something he's still learning how to use his printer himself. When I say horrible, I simply mean that they haven't bonded on one side. The other side seems to be okay. And he doesn't have a heated bed. So that's one. I've got, that one feels solid. That one's not too bad. That one's come out pretty good. That one's not rippling and loose. So that one, I've got 2 of those. And I also I didn't know these were PLA, so I tried some acetone to bond them, which didn't work very well. Now that one's not too bad, but they are a little bit slightly larger, which I can sand down the surfaces so they can go inside the actuator cores. Now, so I've got 3 of these, but the PLA and ABS is really what I need, because then I can smooth them and gloss them and make them a bit nicer looking. Now, here's the big bit of news. He made me a bobbin. Oh, before you get all excited and say, oh, wonderful, wonderful, so you've got your bobbin. Actually, yes and no. As you can see, it was an absolute disaster. He told me that himself. The inside surface, its PLA, is very, very rough. It's extremely, there's pieces sticking out everywhere. And it's split. It's got a big crack down the middle there, look. And it's got another big crack over here. So this thing is literally hanging together by a few threads. So it's, but at least I have something which I can play around with. Now it's, one of the bobbin surfaces is not attached. Now if you look down here, you can see it's not. It's actually not attached. It's completely come away, and because it's PLA, I can't rebond it. I can't use acetone to melt it to stick it all together, which is very sad, really. Because if it had been ABS, I could have done that. I could have painted some acetone on there and flood some of the surface plastic to make it stick together. Well, it's a shame. It's PLA, but at least it's something that could be usable But I ideally need some in ABS, which are much easier to repair. I can get my fingernail in there. It's so big, but the inside is actually okay. So have a look at the inside. The inside appears to be fine. So where the magnet laminations, the laminations go through these slots, the inside wall is okay, but the outside wall is, well, you can see for yourself, it's just very, very poor. So anyway, just so you can see where we are, so you can see how big this thing is. It is really big. My hand, you can see when my hand's on it. It is quite big. It's 110. I think it's 100. Oh, it's about 100 millimeters or something. 90 something. I think I've forgotten now. It's beyond my drawing somewhere. But just to save time, put my ruler on. It's actually 93. It's actually 93 millimeters across there. So it's about 90. Yeah. So anyway. So I have inside bobbins. Now I have some of these. I only had 6 of the outside bobbins made, so I really need some of the larger bobbins. So I need some more of the larger bobbins. I've only got about, I think, 6. I need 8 of those for the outside. Really, it's not going to work properly if I don't have a full set. So anyway, just an update on where we are. But I'm very grateful to my friend Richard in the UK for attempting this, because he's normally all he prints is knobs and buttons to equipment. He doesn't really print anything very big. So this was at the very limit of his 3D printer, this particular thing. And I suppose I could put some tape around the inside to hold it all together, but I'm a bit concerned because this flange is loose. Because this outside flange is loose, when I put wire on there, it's going to split apart. Now, the other thing I could try is super gluing it together. Also looking on eBay for some of the chemicals that I can use to rebond and get it to stick together. That's another option. But the chemicals are not cheap. I found one particular chemical which will do the job, but it's £30, and it's in a gallon. Container. I'm not prepared to spend 30 quid on some solvent when, if I had it in ABS, and I could probably get 3 of these bobbins made in ABS, and I could use my existing acetone to smooth that one out. So I mean, it's just not practical to spend 30 quid to salvage something which probably cost about £6 in material. So it's just not practical. Anyway, that's just an update on where we are at the moment, but it's so nice to have one of these in my hand, a physical one, actually in my hand, and not just a 3D printed, a 3D virtual representation of it. It's so nice to have an actual bobbin in my hand, because you can get the feel of it, and you can actually measure things up and put things in side by side physically and see how it all goes together. So that's something. I'm sorry, these are all crooked. I've knocked them. I keep knocking them, but you can see that they will fit together. I could put them actually on the bobbin. You would get an idea. But this is the bobbin, not the actuator. The actuator has all the lamination slots there and around the edges, but this has just got the individual slots for the lamination that goes through. So basically this one would be not actually on this side. Lamination will go through there, but the spacing is the same. So I can use this as an example to show you what I mean, but the spacing is the same. So these do line up, so I can actually line them up with the slots, and then you can see where the light goes through. Oops, they're falling off now. Anyway, thanks for watching.